Good afternoon to all. It's my pleasure. Welcome to all participants today for the national webinar hosted Department of Psychology, Theivanai College for Women Autonomous. The title is Introduction to Research Report Writing. I like to invite our Dr. C.R. Uttamam, Dean of Research, Theivanai College for Women, to deliver the induction. Welcome, ma'am.
Well, good afternoon, everyone present here. ESSK Educational Charities is a part of ES Charities, which is in the service of people since 1983 onwards. The constituent establishments of ESSK Educational Charities are Theivanai Ammal College for Women, ES College of Nursing, ES Music Academy, ES Arts and Science College, Community College, Theivanai Ammal College for Education, and ES Polytechnic College. Established in 1989, Theivanai Ammal College for Women is an autonomous institution with a vision for women empowerment in and around Villupuram district through quality education. The college offers 12 UG, 8 PG, 8 MPhil, and 5 PhD programs encompassing arts, literature, basic science, and computer science. The growth and success of the institution has gained recognition by NAAC accreditation with A grade in 3 cycles, 2003, 2012, and 2018, followed by conferment of autonomous status in 2 cycles, 2009 and 2015. UGC has recognized the college with 2F and 12B status. The college is ranked 84th among all self-financing autonomous colleges of the country by the Education World. The college has received grant from DST FIST for establishment of Central Instrumentation Facility in 2018. TNSCST has sanctioned fund for 8 student projects during the last 4 years. Keeping in mind that online learning should be effective, the college encourages all the departments to conduct webinars on updated topics for the benefit of the students. The Department of Psychology is conducting a national webinar on the topic Introduction to Research Report Writing. This webinar will tell you the structured format for research reports to be effective in conveying information. You are also likely to learn the qualities of a good research report and how to write it. I hope this webinar will be beneficial to all the students and research scholars, and I request all of you to listen carefully and enjoy e-learning in a better way. On behalf of Theivanai Ammal College for Women, I extend a warm welcome to all the participants of this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to invite my pleasure welcome to our secretary, Mr. Senthil Kumar. Welcome you, sir. My pleasure welcome to our registrar, sir, Soundarajan. I welcome you, sir, though he is not present here. I express my hearty welcome to Principal Ma'am, Dr. Brenda. I welcome you, ma'am. I hearty welcome to Vice Principal, Ms. Selvi, Madam. I welcome you, ma'am. With all of them and students, I would like to welcome our resource person, Ms. Hind Beegam, Clinical Psychologist from Kerala. And also, I welcome all the faculty members and the students. I welcome you all once again. I would like to invite Mr. Mohammed Afrai to give introduction our resource person.
Good afternoon all. First of all, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to our dynamic and most respectful secretary, registrar, principal, vice principal, and dean of research to give us the opportunity to conduct webinar, even though the situation is very critical. TSCW always look forward to strengthen the quality of the student by conducting several academic programs and promote the faculty members to host the program and as well as motivate us to focus on the research. Research is formalized curiosity. It is poking and prying with a purpose. The field research methodology is very important in this modern era to enhance knowledge of oneself and others. That is why the Department of Psychology chosen the topic an introduction to research report writing. So here I am introducing today's chief guest, Ms Hind Beegam, from Kerala, currently working as consultant psychologist in Kerala, and she is one of the founder of FIKA, the non-government organization currently spread in the Kerala. She worked as assistant professor in the Department of Psychology, Holy Cross College University, up to the year 2020, and currently working in the Rotary Alpha Development Center, Alappuzha. She had almost presented 6 research papers and published 5 research theses throughout her academic career. And she cracked the national eligibility test 5 times, which conducted by both the National Testing Agency and University Grant Commission. So we are very grateful to have you, Madam, Ms. Hind Beegam. So now I would like to call our most respectful principal to deliver keynote address.
Thank you. Very good afternoon to all. Respected guest Hind Beegam, consultant psychologist to FIKA, Alappuzha, Kerala, Dean Dr. C.R. Udra, head of the department, Mrs. Bharani, teachers, and my dear students. Today's topic is an introduction to research report writing. Research report is a research document that contains basic aspects of the research project. Research study deepens heavily on the way it is presented to those who are expected to act on the basis of research findings. Research report is a written document containing key aspects of research project. It's a medium to communicate research work with relevant people. It's also a good source of preservation of research work for the future reference. Presentation of research report is not an easy task. It is an art. It requires a good deal of knowledge, imagination, experience, and expertise. Therefore, research report is the systematic, articulate, and orderly presentation of research work in a written form. I welcome you all to this webinar to present and discuss the topic concepts and the questions regarding scientific approach. Thank you so much.
It's my hearty welcome to Honorable Chief Guest Hind Beegam, clinical psychologist from Kerala, to give address.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my immense pleasure to be a part of this national webinar on Introduction to Research Report Writing. Already I got an introduction by Ms. Muhammad Afrid. I'm currently working as a clinical psychologist in an organization, in an NGO called FIKA, which is working in Kerala as a non-governmental organization. So I'm so happy to be a part of this webinar, which is going to be very useful. Like the topic is actually very useful for even our students as well as our faculties around. So I guess everybody will have a happy learning today. Thank you. So can I start the session over here? Okay, so I think I'm audible. So we'll start the session with an introduction. So I just want to make it clear the purpose of this workshop. The purpose of this workshop is to identify and examine the components of a research report. Okay. So the purpose of this workshop is to identify and examine the components of a research report. So what I think is that it is better to compare both a research report as well as a research paper, so that students will be able to understand the difference between a research report as well as a research thesis or research dissertation. So is there any query, then you can just comment it on the chat box. I will be answering to the questions of everyone if time permits. So as you all know, the term research has been derived from an old French word that is re is a prefix, which means again, and search is an old French word which means to seek or search. So I don't think I'll have to go deep into research, because we are mostly focusing on research report or the patterns or the steps to write a research report. Even though I'll just give you an introduction about this research, why do we have to do a research is that we always do a research, or a research is always directed towards finding a solution of a problem, or we are again investigating the answers we have already got, or we are researching, or we are re-seeking the already non-knowledge, or else we can even say that our researches should be based on empirical or observable evidence, and above that, it should give us a very precise and accurate description of what we have learned. So, the research should emphasize, research should be based on certain theory or principles or generalization. And above all, it should be very systematic, objective, and logical. So, research should be done through very patient, through very courageous way. Like, we should not we should not follow any sort of unethical procedures, as well as we should be very patient, and we should not complete a project in such a hurry manner that should affect the quality of our paper. So a researcher should, and before getting into a research, you should be aware about the problems in an area, and you should try to gain some expertise in the area which you are going to study about. And every research should be replicable, that is, other researchers should also be able to replicate the current study. And above all, the researcher should have the skill of writing and reporting the research. So you have done the research, you have done the data collection, you have got the data, you have statistically analyzed the data. Now you should know how to report the data, so that others may be able to know what you have done throughout your project. So this research report writing is actually an art. As I said, it is an art. So I've already discussed about research. It is an intensive search with the purpose of becoming certain. Before starting a research, something will be uncertain for us. So to make that certain, we should do an intensive search with the previous literature, with the current statistical results. We could be able to make that into reality. So it is also called as a systematic investigation, because we do by a step-by-step process, and we do that investigation in a very scientific and step-by-step manner to gain some knowledge about the current topic. So moving on to the research report. Research report is actually a very systematic, articulate, and orderly presentation of research work in a written form. So, this can be even handwritten, this can be even typed or computerized, but it should be very systematic, articulated, and it should be orderly presented. And, like, this research report is a very important document, because it just gives us a complete information of what is your research about, and it gives you an idea about the whole research process, and it should be very objective, and your research report should give accurate source of information. Okay, so like what you have done throughout your project should be objectively reported with complete accuracy, and try to be unbiased. Yeah. So before moving on to the format of a research report, I just want to make something clear here. Like psychology comes under social science and humanity. So we as a school contains a different type of format. So coming under the social science and humanities, we will have to follow certain style manuals while writing a research report. So there are basically like more than 5 types of style reports, but we often follow the publication manual of American Psychological Association. So here, basically, the major style manuals in social sciences and humanities are the Publication Manual of American Psychological Association, 5th edition, the Chicago Manual of Style, 16th edition, the MLA Handbook of Writers of Research Paper, 5th edition, Form and Style Research Papers, Reports, Thesis, 11th edition. So just want to make that clear that in social sciences and humanities, we as psychologists usually follow this Publication Manual of American Psychological Association, which is commonly used. And I will be discussing here the format that have been given by this APA. So before moving on to the structure of a research paper, I've already said I will be following the Publication Manual of American Psychological Association, 5th edition. So here I will be discussing about the pattern of a research paper as well as a research dissertation, so that it will be easy for you to publish a paper along with writing your dissertation. So if somebody who is not clear about a research paper, the difference between a research paper and a research research paper is a very brief article that we will be publishing on a journal. For example, we can publish your paper on APA, you can publish your article on APA or any other Indian psychology. There are many journals that are publishing articles on psychology. So research paper will be mostly 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 pages, but a research report will be a very very long study, very long report consisting of several pages, like 60, 70 pages, which will be giving an elaborative report on what is a research about. So research report will be you can similar to a thesis or a dissertation, and research paper is an article. So I think I'm clear. If you have any query, kindly you can post it in the chat box. So a research paper has been divided into mainly 9 parts by American Psychological Association. So I'll be discussing each part, and I will also compare this each part to a research paper as well as a research report. So there are basically 9 parts, as I said. First part is title page, and after that there will be abstract, and after that there will be introduction and review of literature. And after we'll be discussing about the method of the study, then we'll be discussing about the results, and we'll be discussing about the discussion, then how to write a reference, then what will be there in the appendix, and after author note. So this is a typical pattern of a research paper or an article. So when you write a research report, it will be like title page will be there, and after title page there will be declaration, acknowledgement, and the certificate will be there from your college. Then after that you will be have to give the list of content, list of table, list of figure. Then after you will give your abstract. Then in separate chapter you will be giving introduction. Then in separate chapter you will be giving review of literature. Then after you will be giving method, result, discussion, reference, appendix. Okay, so what's the major difference is that while writing a research paper, you will be giving the introduction as well as the review of literature in a single para. While writing a research report, this introduction as well as review of literature will be coming in different chapters. So that is the major difference while seeing a research paper and research report. An introduction will be vast in research report, while it will be very short and crispy in a research paper. So research paper is always very short and crispy, while a research report will be elaborately discussing about the whole research process in very detail. So moving on to the title page, according to APA, as I already said, we are following the APA edition, so APA style. So according to APA, the title page should contain mainly 3 elements. Okay, so I'll discuss each element in detail. The first element is a title. So the title should be very concise and very clear, and it should indicate the purpose of your study. For example, if you are going to measure, or if you are going to study about the mental health and depression among working women during COVID-19, you should mention your title in a very clear and precise manner. By seeing the title itself, you should be able to understand the purpose of your study. So might be we'll be giving the topic as depression and mental health among working women during COVID-19. Okay, and your best length of a title should be 12 to 15 words. So it should not be very short and it should not be very long. It's often recommended to have a length of 12 to 15 words. And most of the time we often does a mistake, like we often give an introductory phase, like a study of mental health and depression, or an investigation on mental health and depression. See, we already know that the researcher is studying something or researcher is investigating something, so we don't need to give an introductory phrases like a study of or an investigation of while writing the title. So it should give you the grasp idea of what the study about, and it should be in title case. That means it should not be completely in capital letter. It should comprise of both upper and lower cases. And when your title is a bit long, then it should be centered when 2 lines are needed. Okay, it should be in the center of the page when 2 lines are needed. And throughout the research, what you should be follow is that it should be double spaced, like while like between 2 words there should be double space. Okay, so while writing the title page, the second major element you should be very careful about is the author's name and affiliation. Author's name should be centered below the title. So after writing the title, you should write the name of the author, and after writing the author, you should name the institution to which the author is affiliated. For example, if I'm writing a research paper, I'll be writing the heading or the title of my research. After that, I'll write my name, Hind Beegam, and after that, I'll write the institution to which I'm affiliated. So I may write FIKA. So after that, about running head. Running head is also a very important element in while writing title page. So this running head should contain a capitalized short name of the title. So it's like mental health and depression among working women during COVID-19. So I should write it in capitalized letter, like in a short name. So like a maximum of 50 characters is allowed with letter, punctuation, and spaces. And it should always type on the upper right side of the page. I'll show you the model. And in the title page, it should be on the bottom of the page. Okay, I'll just show you a model. So I think you can see it here. See, the title page is the impact of 2019 coronavirus disease pandemic on sleep health. So here we have written the title on both upper and lower case, that is title case. And after writing the title case, we have given the name of the author, Sam Kutana and Paki H. Low. And after that, we have made the we have shown to which affiliation, to which institution they are affiliated to. They are belong to a Ryerson University. Then somebody will have a doubt about what is this running head. See, this is the next page of that research paper. So here you can see COVID-19 and sleep health. See, you can see here. Here the topic is the impact of 2019 coronavirus disease pandemic on sleep health. Even though the topic is that, they have given the running head in a very short manner, like COVID-19 and sleep health. Okay, and in the left side of the right side of the upper right, we have given the page number also. This is a paper that had published in APA journal. Okay, so this is the pattern of writing a research title, and after that, so this is how you have to write a research title, and after that you have to give the name of the author, and after that you have to give the name of the institution to which the author is affiliated to. And in every page you need to give the running head, like COVID-19 and sleep health, which is in a very short and capitalized manner, and you need to give the page number. Okay, so I think I'm clear. This is a pattern of research paper. So while writing a dissertation, this is how often people give. Like some people may follow it in a capitalized manner, some people may follow it in a title case, and after that you will be giving the name of the author, and they will be giving the name of the institution. So this research report and research paper differs. Okay. So after writing the title page, we'll be moving on to the abstract. So uh, abstract, most of them will be familiar about an abstract, because while going for any conferences, or while sending your paper for paper presentations and all, we will be sending them an abstract. So everywhere people will ask to send you an abstract about your research study. So the abstract is very important, because the abstract will give an introduction about the author's idea, and this abstract will give a very brief summary of the research the author had conducted. So I had conducted a study on, as I said in the beginning, an example I have given. I'm studying on mental health and depression among working women during COVID-19. So those, like my abstract will be giving a complete idea about my research that I had conducted. Okay, and these abstracts should define any abbreviations that had been used. For example, like the abbreviations and terminologies should be defined in a very proper manner in your abstract, and it's not necessary to mention the references that have been used. And you should not be able, you don't need to cite your reference in the abstract. And after like abstract, and while writing a research report, the abstract will start on a fresh paper. But while writing a research paper, the abstract will start as soon as the author's name and affiliation, the abstract will be starting. But while writing a research report or a dissertation or a thesis, the abstract will start on a very fresh page. Okay, so that's a major difference. So in writing a thesis, this abstract will be starting on a separate page, but while writing a research paper, it will be beginning after the author's name and affiliation. So here you can see this is an abstract. Okay, so here they have mentioned about the summary of the study, and after that they have given a public significance statement because of this COVID-19, and after that they have also given the keywords. So here, as I said, the abstract will be written on a separate sheet in a research report, and on the same sheet in a research article. And after reading this abstract, everybody will get a brief overview of your research. Okay, so most of the time, the research should be, the abstract page will begin with the word called abstract, centered to the page, and in a 12-point Times New Roman font. So this 12-point Times New Roman font is a standard font size and font style which is used in APA. And this after writing this abstract heading, you need to give a paragraph of 100 to 150 words which summarize the study. And after that, you need to mention the key terms in an italicized manner. See here, you can see keywords have mentioned in an italicized manner. Here, COVID-19, quarantine, anxiety, circadian sleep regulation, homeostatic sleep regulation is the keywords that have been used in the abstract. So I think I'm clear. Yeah. So this is the format of an abstract in a research thesis. So after that, we'll be giving table of content. So while writing a thesis, you will be giving the table of content, list of figure, list of table, abbreviations, etc. But while writing a research paper, you don't have to give the list of table, figure, content and all. But while writing an elaborative research thesis or a dissertation, you will have to mention about the table of content, you'll have to mention about the list of figure, you'll have to mention about the list of table, abbreviations, etc. So this is a pattern of a list of table of content in a research report or a dissertation. So here we'll be giving the acknowledgement, abstract, table of content, list of figure, table, and after that we'll be giving chapter 1 introduction, chapter 2 review, chapter 3 methodology, like that we will be mentioning. And after we'll be giving the list of figure, like figure 1 indicating this, figure 2 indicating this, then list of tables we'll be giving. So this is mostly found in a research thesis or a dissertation. So after that, moving on to the introduction. Introduction is a major part that is being studied. So, while writing an introduction, we don't need to mention or we don't need to label a term called introduction. Okay. For example, while writing an introduction, you don't need to mention the term introduction, like you don't need to label it as introduction. You can just start writing, okay? And the running head will be presenting in the following pages. And while writing introduction, what you need to keep it in mind is that you are not supposed to use any form of personal pronoun such as I, you, we, my, our, etc. Rather, you are supposed to mention it as a researcher or the investigator. You should not say what I have done. You should mention it as what the researcher have done or what the investigator had tried to do. Or rather than mentioning he or she, you should mention it as a researcher or an investigator. At the end of the session, I will be showing you a pattern of a research paper also. Okay. So, and while writing a research paper, you should mainly keep in mind about three important things. That is statement of the problem, background of review of literature, or purpose and rationale or hypothesis. So, while writing a research dissertation, you'll be starting introduction in a fresh chapter. But while writing a research paper or an article, you will be starting the introduction after this abstract. Okay, so as we have discussed, the first part was title, second part was abstract, and the third part was introduction. So in a research paper, after abstract, continuously you will be start writing introduction. But while writing a dissertation, you will get a fresh paper and you will start writing your introduction. So you need to keep three elements in mind while writing an introduction. The first element is a statement of the problem. So you need to clearly give a definition about the statement of your problem. So what you have mentioned is that you should state clearly about the problem, what are you going to do about, and you should also say on what basis you have been studying this, or you should develop it logically in the light of pertinent studies. And you should also mention the need of the present research, why you should do this research, what is the purpose of doing this present research. For example, if you're studying depression and mental health among working women during COVID-19, you should mention what is the need of this present study. Then you should say, you should report on your research, that on your article, that currently the COVID-19 situation is going on, so people are having a lot of issues, people are anxious, people are showing a lot of depressive symptoms, people are uncertain about what is happening, they feel helpless. So and especially in working women, we could see the responsibility of them, and we could understand the need of this present research. So you need to give a very clear and definitive statement about the present research. And about that, you should also say that why the problem is important in terms of theory or practice. You should also give research is always scientific and systematic, so it should always be based on an empirical evidence. So you should always keep it in mind to mention about the theory or the practice that is being important regarding your problem. So in the first part of the introduction, you should state the problem very clearly, so that while reading the introduction portion, one should be able to understand, okay, this is the problem that the researcher is being studied about. And after writing the research problem, in a research article, okay, or in a research paper, I'm not talking about a research report, I'm talking about a research article, one should written, or one should write the literatures regarding, or literatures related to your current study. For example, some people might have already studied about this, or in a different population, or some people might have studied about anxiety and depression among working women, or some people might have studied just anxiety and depression in COVID-19 situation. So you should mention all the related studies that had already been conducted, and or I can say, you should mention all the existing body of literature with the present study, related to the present study. For example, the studies related to anxiety and COVID-19, the studies related to depression and COVID-19, the studies related to mental health and COVID-19, the studies related to mental health and working women during COVID-19. So there will be a lot of studies. You will have to relate all these studies, and you will have to mention the name of the author, the year, what was the study about, what was the aim of the study, and what was the result of the study. So you need to mention all these things. It might be like while writing a research article, it can be like 10 to 15, but while writing a research report, there will be a numerous studies and you will have to elaborately mention about all these studies. Okay, so after writing this review of literature, you will be mentioning about the purpose and rationale of this of your study. So you will have to give a clean rationale. What is the purpose of your study? Why do you have to conduct this study? And since we are discussing about a research paper, in research paper, because I said it will be very brief and it will be very short, so we'll be mentioning the review of literature in the introduction part itself. In the same paragraph we'll be mentioning, and after that there will be hypothesis will be mentioning. According to APA, your hypothesis should be mentioned in introduction part, and operational definitions of terms should be given. For example, what do you mean by anxiety in your study, or what do you mean by depression in your study, or what do you mean by COVID-19 in your study? You should give a very operational definition of every terms that have been used. Okay, so I don't want anybody to get confused. So this is what I have said in a research article. So while coming to a dissertation for your PG or UG, what you have to do is that after writing introduction, in introduction you will be mentioning about the need of the study, you will be giving an introduction about the terms, you will be giving an introduction about the rationale of the study, but you will not be giving an idea about the review of literature. Review of literature will be in a separate chapter while writing a research report, but while writing a research paper, it will be coming after this introduction session. Okay, so I'll show you what is a research paper and a research thesis. Okay, so this is the only difference that is mostly seen, because in a research article, the introduction, after introduction, in the same paragraph they will start review of literature, but in a research report or a research dissertation, the first chapter will be introduction, and where you will be giving the statement of the problem, need of the study, you will be giving the introduction about the terms, you will be like introducing all the operational definitions over there, and the second chapter will be review of literature, where you will be mentioning only about related studies regarding your research. Okay, so but while writing an article or a research paper, it will be coming in the same paragraph. So that I said these are the three important elements while writing an introduction in a research paper. Okay, so first you will be mentioning the statement, you will be stating the problem, and after that you will be giving a background of the study or the review of literature, and after that you will be giving a purpose as well as rationale of your study. Also you will be mentioning some hypothesis in a research paper. Okay, yeah, and the fourth important part that is mentioned, that we'll be mentioning in a research paper, will be method. Okay, so method is something which is very, very important in a research. Okay, so this method will tell you, or the reader will be able to grasp about how the research was conducted by the researcher. The researcher will be able to say like, in this method part, the researcher will be able to discuss about the major elements, like the subject that have been used by the researcher, the major tools or measures that have been used, the major research design that had been used, the major procedure that had been used. So this method portion is very important. And as I said, in an article, the method will be very short and brief, but in a research report, it will be very elaborated. Okay, and we can even include the statistical analysis, what statistical analysis used in a research report. Okay, so yeah, so while writing a method portion or method part, the first thing you need to give a lot of importance is the subject or the sample that have been used. So in the subject portion, you need to give, in the subject part, you need to give a very clear idea about what population you have been used. So I had given an idea about working women. So the subject over here will be working woman. Okay. Then after that, you need to mention in what sampling design you have used. For example, whether you have used the symbol random sampling, or you have used the systematic random sampling, or else you can say like you should mention whether you have used the probability sampling or non-probability sampling according to your criteria. For example, whether you have kept the probability sampling, so that you will be mentioning like judgmental sampling, snowball sampling, etc. But if you have kept a non-probability sampling, then you will be like symbol random sampling, systematic sampling, etc. Okay. So this is what is important while writing or while mentioning the subject. And after that, you need to mention the characteristics such as age, sex, location, SCS, race, institutional affiliation, etc. For example, if you are taking a sample of working woman, you should mention like what age the sample is in, what if the sex is, obviously if it's working woman, then it is a woman. Then location, from which part of the geographical location you have been taken. Then what is the socio-economic status of the woman. For example, if they are working, then which institutional affiliation they are belong to, or which university they are belong to. You can mention all these things about your samples. And after that, you need to mention how many samples you have taken. For example, if you have taken 100 working women, you should mention that I have taken research. I've taken 100 working woman, and you should also mention the ethical standards of your treatment. Okay, so in the subject you should clearly mention about how many research. For example, it will be like the current study comprises of 100 working women who had been selected through simple random sampling method in an age range comprises of 30 to 40, and from rural area, who's hailing from a lower socio-economic status, so etc. Like in such a way, we will be reporting about the population. Okay. So after that, we will be mentioning about the tools. Okay. We will be mentioning about the tool. In the tool, for example, as I already given you an example, they have been studying about what? Depression and mental health among working women. So here, obviously, we will be using some tools related to depression or some tools related to mental health. So we need to make clear that what tools you are using, or we need to mention that what tools you are using on your study. For example, while measuring depression, for example, I may use Beck depression inventory, and I'll have to mention about my tool Beck depression inventory. I'll have to give a detailed explanation of my scale. For example, what's the name of the scale, who had developed the scale, what is the reliability and validity of the scale, how the scale is being scored, how is it administered, etc. Okay. And after that, I'll be mentioning about mental health inventory, like who is the name of the author of the scale, then the reliability and validity of the scale, then how the scale is being scored, how it is administered. All these things we will be mentioning. Okay. So after that, I need to mention is that while writing a research article, what you do is that we'll be giving a very brief idea about the tools. Okay, but while writing a research report, you will have to give a very detailed explanation of all your tools, its reliability, its validity should be checked, its scoring should be given in a very elaborative manner, administration should be given in a very elaborative manner. Okay. Okay, so the third portion is design, or the third important element while writing a method is design. Okay, variables should be mentioned in the design. You should mention the variables. What are the independent variable? What are the dependent variable? Then what are the demographic variable you are using? And if it is a experimental study, you should mention about which is the experimental group, which is the control group, what is an independent variable treatment, what is a dependent variable treatment. You should be able to give all these, or you should mention very clearly about what independent variable you are taking, what dependent variable you are taking, etc. Okay, and while writing a research paper, you should also mention if there is any, if it is an experimental group, obviously there will be an experimental group even, and a control group. So you should mention what is special treatment is being given for an experimental group and what is not given for a control group. Okay, so you should mention all those things. And after, the fourth important element while doing a research, while writing a method, is a procedure. So in procedure, you should mention what are the actual steps that carried out. For example, while writing a research report or a research dissertation, we often give it in a very elaborative manner, like the participant was seated comfortably and the following instructions were given, etc., etc. So we should mention what instructions were given, how your independent variable was administered, how dependent variable was measured. Then you should mention, like, whether you have provided any help for the research, for the subject. So you need to mention all those stuff, and so that it will be very easy for another researcher to replicate your study, because it's already mentioned in your procedure portion that how you have conducted the study. So if I have conducted the study and somebody else want to conduct the study again, so it will be very easy for them by seeing the procedure portion that, okay, the previous researcher had already mentioned the steps, like they have mentioned how they have collected the data, how they have approached the samples, what type of instructions they have given, how the IV was administered, how DV was measured, and it provides a very easy replication. Okay, so the next portion while writing a research is results. Okay, so results is basically two basic elements are there while that should be kept in mind while writing an element. While writing a result. The first portion is table and figure, and the second portion is its statistical presentation. So while writing a table and a figure, you need to keep very like a lot of steps are there while writing a table. Okay, so this is a common format of or I can say this is an APA format of a table. So this is how you should provide a table. Okay, there should not be like a complete box and all. That is not acceptable. So here I have given a correlational analysis table. So see, you can see, like, this is how you should mention correlational metrics for hypothesis 1. So I have said we'll be mentioning about hypothesis. So this is how you have to given about the correlation metrics for hypothesis 1 to 3. So here, see, table 9 should be given in such a way. Now, after table 9, in italic form, you should give what are you going to, like, what table is it about in a italic manner you should give. And after that, this is the pattern of an APA pattern of a table, like this. Here you can see significance is being shown in stars, and after that you need to show correlation for participants are present in the table above. So this is the format of a table. Okay, even if you are giving a frequency table, or if you are giving a T table, or if you are giving any table, ANOVA, every table should follow this format. Like, you should mention table 9 or table number, and after that you should mention the heading of the table in an italic manner. Then after that, this is how a APA table should be given. Okay, and after that, this is a figure. So this is how a figure should be given. Actually, this is a scatter plot, like, because here I have given a correlation table. So I have mentioned a figure based on this correlation table. So here you can see this is a scatter plot. Scatter plot is something which you will be used to show the correlational table, or graphically to graphically represent a correlational table. You will be using a scatter plot. So this is a scatter plot. Here, this scatter plot shows the relationship between your variables. So here you can see this is how you have to represent a table. So or a figure. So figure 1, like this is the pattern of representing a this is the pattern of representing a table. Then after that, you need to give a note about what this figure is about. Okay, so the next portion you need to be very clear is about your discussion. The major elements while using the discussion or while giving a discussion are support or non-supportive evidence. So before moving on to the discussion, I need to make something clear over here. So you may be asking how to write a like how to statistically represent, or how to give a short or a brief analysis about this table. So here we'll be giving like you can write like this. For example, as per about table 9, as per about table 9, you can write like the SKAPS, or we can say like as per table 9, a significant relation has been found between MICA4 and SKAPS-A, which is negative, which is minus 0.502, which is significant at 0.01 level. And we can even say like there is a significant relationship found between RKI and SKAPS, which is 0.297, which is also significant at 0.01 level. So here we should be able to give an idea about how to what I can say is how to interpret the result on the table. Okay, so this is about a correlational table. So if you are writing about a T table, or if you are writing about an ANOVA table, you should be able to say like as per the T table that have been given, the T value, or we can say like the mean value is 0.54 and the T value is 0.32. Since the T value is significant at 0.05 level, or we can say like the T value is significant at 0.05, which shows that a significant relation has been found. Like that you can say, like, okay, so here you can say since your minus 0.502 is significant at 0.01 level, you can say that there is a significant relationship found between MICA4 and SKAPS-A. Like that you can just mention. Here you don't need to give a very elaborate discussion about your table, but you can get, because that is being done in discussion part. Here you can just give a very brief idea about what have found to be significant and what form of relationship have been found. Okay. Yeah. Moving on to the discussion part, major elements of writing a discussion. Discussion is one of the major important part. Okay. There is a very important relationship between discussion and review of literature, because what you have mentioned in review of literature should be discussed in your discussion, because there will be a lot of studies that will be supporting your study, and there will be a lot of studies that is not supporting your study. Okay, for example, you have mentioned a study, something similar to the study, for example, depression and mental health among working men's in COVID-19 or something, or for example, in just women, not working, just women in COVID-19 situation, and you need to mention that, and but that the result of that particular study is supporting your current study. That study also showed that the depression and mental health have a connect in COVID-19 situation in women. So you should just connect that study with this with your present study in discussion part. For example, you can mention like this: the current study is being empirically supported by the study that have been conducted by this, for example, A and B. And this study should be mentioned in your review of literature also. So I said no, in review of literature you will be mentioning about all the related studies, and there will be many studies that will be supporting your current results. So you should give a very you should provide an evidence, empirical evidence or supportive evidence related to your research result. Okay, so here, while giving this research result, it will be very easy for you to give an empirical idea, evidence about it. You can say like, okay, my result is being supported by the study conducted by A and B in this year, so this will be a supportive evidence for your current study. And after that, you will have to give a practical and theoretical implication about your study. Okay, for example, what is the purpose? See, I have measured about, or I have researched on depression and mental health among working women during COVID-19. Okay, that is over. So what is the practical or theoretical implication of that? How can we use the study practically for helping this working woman in COVID-19 situation? So I can say like in their working setting, they can make some changes, or they are periodical screening should be done about their depression, or periodical screening should be done about their mental health, and they should, their working organization should be given them a situation where they can have a very good climate. At least working climate should be good during this COVID-19 situation, because already they are going through a lot of worries. So at least what practical implications can be suggested should also be mentioned. Okay, and after that, you need to mention about the conclusion, like what is the conclusion of your study. For example, for example, if I found I can say, if I found a significant relationship between this mental health and depression, I should say like the current study had revealed a significant relationship between this depression and mental health among working women during COVID-19, and I should conclude the study. For example, I should say who were my subject, I should say what tools I have used, I should say what sampling procedure I have used, I should say what research design I have used, I should mention what type of hypothesis I have used, I should mention what variables I have used, I should say the what statistical techniques I have used. I should also say like what were the result of my study, and finally I should say like what were the supportive evidence I have got, and finally I should mention like what is the result of my study. All these things should be mentioned in your conclusion portion, and after that you need to mention about the limitations and delimitations of the study. Limitation is something like what are the limitations or what are the difficulties you have faced while doing your research. For example, limitation is something that, for example, you can say like the subjects had a tendency to respond in a socially desirable manner. That is something which the researcher cannot control. Okay, but at the same time, delimitation is something which mention, or delimitation is something which gives us an idea about what the researcher had constricted, or what is under the control of the researcher and what the researcher had constricted. For example, I can say the researcher had constricted a study only to working women. That is the wish of the researcher. That was the decision of the researcher. The researcher was comprised only 100 samples. That was also a delimitation that was under the control of a researcher. So those things that have been controlled by the researcher is called as delimitation, and those things that is not under the control of the study is termed as limitations. Okay, and after that you need to mention about the directions for future research. For example, here I have done a study about depression and mental health among working women during COVID-19. So I should say what are the directions for future research, what else study can be done. I can say like you can elaborate the study not only in working women, you can also see in non-working women, and I'm saying you like or else you can do the study in some other psychological area. For example, rather than using depression, you can see the anxiety, or you can see the stress, or you can see any other psychological area. Or I can say like rather than using this mental health, you can use something else, lifestyle, or you can see the quality of the life, etc. So this direction for future research will be giving you an idea about how can you take this study to a further step. Okay, and after that you need to mention about your references. See, this references portion is very important because the reference list should be formatted in the following manner. First of all, we may think like, is there any pattern for this reference? Obviously, the APA has given you a very clear and crispy idea about how you should cite your references. Okay, so references should be indented 1/2 inch from the left margin. So it should be like from the left margin, it should be 1/2 inch should be like, you should press a tab, and after that you should write the references. And after writing these references should be listed alphabetically in the order by author's last name. Okay, like for example, my name is Hind Beegam, but I should, while writing my research paper, I should refer my name as Beegam.h. My last name will be mentioning at the first, and it should be listed alphabetically. And after that, if there are more than 7 authors, you can just mention, or more than 6 author, you can just mention the first name of the author, and after that you can just mention etal, et.al, because etal shows that there are a lot of author. You don't need to mention the name of all the authors over there. And after the name of the author, you should give the year of publication, and after that you should you should give the name of the reference. For example, my name of the what is the name of the article, or what is the name of the journal, and after that you should give the volume or page number, and after that you should indicate the source origin. I'll just show you in detail over here. Yeah, so how to cite a book.
why this is an idea. I mean, this will give you an idea about how to cite a book while writing a research paper or a research article. So here you can see author surname is there. Author surname will be like Beegam.h, and after that initial is my H. Then after that there will be a full stop, and after that year will be there, and after that you need to give the title of your paper or your research. If it is a book, okay, that you need to give the title of your book, and you need to mention the edition. Then you need to mention the publisher location, and you need to name the publisher. See, one thing you need to keep in mind is that you should keep your title in an italicized manner, and the first letter of the first word and the first letter of the first word, like it should be capital. Only the first letter should be capitalized. Okay. I'll give you an example over here. See, you can see this Michelle will be the last name of the author. Michelle, comma, J dot A, comma. This is the name of the author. Okay, Michelle will be the last name. After that, the first name will be mentioned just with the first letter J dot. After that, you will be mentioning about A. A will be the A is the initial of the author, and after naming the author, you need to put a comma, and after that. See, here you can see there are three authors, Michelle J. A. So when there are two or more authors, you can just put this comma. Then after Thompson will be the second name, and after that M dot comma, and Coyne. Coyne is the third author, last name of the third author, and after that R dot P. And after naming all the authors, you just don't need to give any comma over here. You can just stop with the full stop. And after that, in brackets, you need to give the year of your study. Okay. And after that, put a full stop, and you just write your name of the book in a guide to citation is the name of the book in a italicized manner. Okay. Only with the first letter capitalized. And after that, you need to just mention the location of the publication. That book has been published in London, England. And after that, the name of the publisher, that is my publisher. Okay. The same way. See, here there is only two authors. So Jones, A.F. Jones will be the last name. A is the first name, and dot F will be the initial, and Wang L. After that, I said when there after the last author, there is no need to give any comma over here. And you can give 2011, after that a full stop, then Spectacular Creature, the Amazon Rainforest. That is the name of the book. You can mention the second edition, full stop. Then San Jose, Costa Rica is a place, and after that you can give the name of the author. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can just chat. You can just put it in the chat box. I'll just clear it after. Okay. So this is how to cite an ebook. So everything is different. There is no like how the book, the reference, or the citing of a book or an ebook or an article or a image, everything will be actually different. Okay, this is the structure of citing an ebook. So here you can see it's the same way. You will be mentioning the last name of the chapter author, then initial, after that year, chapter title, and after that you will be mentioning about the editor's initial, surname. See, here you can see an example. The title, edition, page range, etc. So here you can see Michelle J.A. Thompson M. and Coyne RP 2017. A Guide to Citation is the name of the book. Okay. And you can just mention from retrieved URL. You can just mention from which URL that your ebook have been retrieved. Okay. Sometimes people may also mention the page range. You can even, if you want, you can just mention your page range over here. Yeah, some people are asking me about to differentiate between a research paper and a research report. Okay, so research paper is something that is being published on a research journal. Okay, research paper can also be called as an article. It will be like 4 to 5 pages, only just 4 to 5 pages, and you will be publishing that research article or a research paper on a research journal. Okay, and that will be a very brief and short summary of your entire study. This research paper will be a very short and brief idea about your research study. But while mentioning or while writing a research report or a thesis or a dissertation, that is being done while writing a UG or PG or MPhil or PhD. Okay, so that will be giving a complete very long elaborative, like pages and pages will be there. For example, hundreds of pages will be there in a research report. But research articles are very short and brief, which will be published on a journal. For example, APA is a journal. American Psychological Association has a journal. So in the APA journal, if you want to publish your research paper, you can send your paper to them. So that paper will be 4 to 5 pages, and like that will be an article. That will be called as an article, and you need to follow all these rules I have said while writing a research paper. And research report will be, you will be writing a research report for your academic purposes, like for your UG, PG, PhD, MPhil, etc. Okay, so that is a major difference between the research paper and a research report. I think I'm clear. Research paper is same as an article which is being published in a journal, and research report is a thesis or a dissertation that is being published for academic purposes. Kindly just mention if you are clear with that. Okay? And after that, this is very important. Okay, why? Because you may not be able to see a lot of books or a lot of thesis on certain paper, but you may be able to get a lot of journal or articles while writing a paper. So you will be referring a lot of articles that have been done by previous researchers. So you should know how to mention or how to cite a journal article. Okay, so this is the format of a journal article. Like first you need to give the author surname. For example, Michelle J.A. 2017 is the year of the study, and after that you need to mention the citation. You need to mention the article title. Here citation, why is it so important? That is the name of the article, and that should not be in italicized, but the name of the journal should be in italicized manner. Here the name of the journal is Mentally Journal. See, in the how to cite a book, I have mentioned you to italize the name of the book. Here the name of the book will be italicized, but here the name of the journal will be italicized and not the name of your study. Name of the study will not be italicized in a journal article, but the name of your journal will be italicized in your while mentioning or while citing an article. See, here you can see Michelle J.A. is the author surname, initial is J and A, year is 2017, article title which is not italicized, that is citation. Why is it so important? Then after that, journal title and volume number which is italicized. Here journal title is Mentally Journal, comma 67(2) is the volume number or issue, and after that you can give the page number which is not italicized, and you can even give the retrieve from which URL. You can just mention that. Okay, so this is how we have been doing how you can cite a journal article. And after that, while citing an image, see, we will be using a lot of images also in our paper or in our research report or a research paper. So you can mention, you will have to mention about, or you will have to give, cite this image in your reference portion. So this is the format of citing an image. For example, you need to give the author surname, last name first, and after that first name and initial. Then you need to give the publication date, which publication date. For example, here 1851 to 1852. And after that, title of the image in an italicized manner. Here, Ophelia is the title of the image and it is a painting. So you need to give it in a bracket, and after that you need to show retrieve from which URL. You need to mention that. Okay. Then after that, comes, so these are the important, this is not the only way, and some people will be mentioning about, or some people will be getting information from a website while writing an article. So if we get any papers from a website or something, you need also mention about those websites also. So here how you have to mention is that you need to give the author surname, that is last name first, after that first name, then after your initial, then after that year, month and date. Okay, which date you got this particular idea from the website, and the name website in italicized manner, how and why, how or when to reference, that was the name of the website. And after that you need to mention retrieve from which URL. Okay, you need to mention retrieve. So these are the important way, these are the important yeah, so these are the important way to mention your or these are the important way to cite your references in APA format. So here I have already mentioned about how to cite a book that you have gone through, or how to cite an ebook that you have gone through while writing your research paper, that you got some idea, or you got some references, or you got some reviews from. Then how to cite a journal article that you have been referred. Then how to cite an image that you have been referred. How to cite a website in APA format. So these are the important things that you should keep in mind while writing reference. And if you have any doubts, you can just put it in the chat box. I'll just go through it at the end. Okay. Then appendix. Appendix is also very important. You know, while writing a research article, like what, or a research paper, we are not mentioned this appendix, but while writing a research thesis or a research dissertation or research report, you will have to give an appendix which gives a complete idea about what is a tool, or like, for example, if I have used Beck depression inventory, I should give that Beck depression inventory in my appendix. I should give my mental health inventory which I had used in my appendix. I should give the demographical details that I have been, or demographical sheet that I have used in the appendix. I should also give like some statistical treatment that is so elaborative that I cannot mention in my method portion, can be given in the appendix. Okay, all these things should be mentioned in the appendix. And at the end, you should give an author note. Okay, while writing a research report, you can you can give an author note, like which include 4 basic things. For example, see, this is usually found in both research article as well as a research report or a thesis, like include 4 basic things, that is sources of financial support from, for example, are you doing a funded research, or are you just not doing any funded research? Just like the guys mentioned, whether this is being funded by ICSSR or UGC, or this is being personally funded by myself, you can just show your acknowledgement to whom you are acknowledged your research. Or if you want to thank someone, you can acknowledge in that while writing a research article. Okay, but while writing a research thesis or dissertation, we often mention this acknowledgement in the beginning of the thesis itself. After writing this title page and all, we will be giving acknowledgement of over there. And after that, you can give your contact information, and after that, your author's affiliation. For example, which institution you are belong to, you can just mention your contact information as well as your author's affiliation. Yeah, so this is actually the 9 parts that I have been mentioning about in APA, like that I have been mentioning while writing a research article. Okay, I have already said in the beginning itself, please don't get confused with a research article and a research report. Research article will be just 4 to 5 pages, and research thesis or research report or the research dissertation will be hundreds and hundreds of pages. Okay, and so that you can imagine how elaborative each session will be. For example, a research article introduction will be just 1 or 2 paragraphs, but a research report will be like, introduction will be 20, 40, 50 pages. Okay, it's according to your degree, or UG or PG or PhD. It's according to your degree. So this should be kept in mind, the difference between article and research report, because I have been following about a research article. So there are basically 9 parts. I said you need to keep in mind about title page. After that, you need to keep in mind about your abstract. And after that, see, I'll just give you an idea. Like, I'm just talking about a research article that is being published in a journal, just 4 to 5 pages. Okay, I'm just going to give an idea about that. So in a research article, it's just 4 to 5 pages. So you will be mentioning about your title. After that, the author's name. After that, you will be mentioning about the institution whom you are affiliated to. After that, you will give an abstract. And after that, you will just start introduction without mentioning any label as introduction. And after that, in the same paragraph, you will be mentioning about review of literature. Okay. And after that, okay, review of literature. And after that, after that, you will be mentioning about the methods that you have used. Then in that method, you can just mention what are the samples used, what are the tools used, what sampling procedure you have used. Then you can say like what statistical procedure you have used, what were the procedure of the study, what research design you have used. All those things will be in the method, and after that you will be giving results. And results you will be giving about, you will be mainly giving your table as well as your statistical representation, and you may even mention it in the form of a figure. And after that you may give the references. For example, after that you may give the discussion portion, that you will be, as I have said, you will be mentioning about the study, supportive evidences. You will be giving your limitations and limitations. You will be giving directions for future research, and etc. And after that, you will be mentioning your reference, appendix, and author's note. Okay, this is being given as part of a study. So I just want to give you an idea about. Some people may have a doubt of what is a research paper. So I'll just give you an idea about a research paper over here. Yeah, so this is a, I think I'm clear with my slide. So this is a, you can see, yeah, this is a paper, research paper. Okay, this is a research paper. So here you can see the title, and after that you can see, the name of the author. After that, we have given the institution which is affiliated to. After that, I have given the I have given this. Researcher had given the abstract. Okay, abstract has been given, including keywords. Okay, including keywords, they have given the abstract, and after that, you can see here they have given you the. They have given you the introduction about their study here. This is the introduction portion. See, here they have started giving about the review of literature, that is previous related studies that had been conducted by some other researchers. Okay, so and after that they have been mentioning about, this is a qualitative study. So here you can see, like, they have been mentioning about various studies that had been mentioned over here. Then after that, this is about different thing. Then, after that they will be mentioning about your methods over here. Methods will be discussed, and after that, this is a qualitative study actually, and after that they will be giving about the conclusion, and finally they will be mentioning the reference over here. You can see the reference over here. See, and sometimes they may even give you the resume also. This is all the reference that have been mentioned. Okay, so this is a style of an APA paper. Okay, APA research paper. And some people may have a doubt about what is a thesis or what is a research report. Okay, so research article is just 4 to 5 pages, as I said, but a research dissertation will be, you can see here itself, this is 106 pages are there. Okay, so here I can show you, like, you can see here you can see, like, you can see here you can see introduction is like introduction, statement, purpose of the study is being given over here. So this research study is like this is too long. Okay, and so the research study will be like, introduction will be that long that they will be mentioning about the study over here. So I think I'm clear with that, to differentiate between a research article and a research study. Okay, yeah. So moving on to the last session, that is after author note, the basic thing that always you should keep in your mind is general formatting guideline for APA. So while writing research, general formatting guideline while writing an APA session is that the text should be typed on a very standard paper, that is 8.5 inch to 11 inch white paper should be used while writing a research paper. For example, that is actually called an A4 sheet paper. This 8.5 inch into 11 inches white paper should be used. That should be used for a research paper. And after that, while writing in APA style, you should use a very easy to read font. Mostly they are recommending a Times New Roman font, but see, I'm using a Times New Roman font over here. So this font is being recommended with a size of 12 that is being used. Okay, and after that, you should use double spacing is required on both the title page and throughout the paper. I hope everybody is clear with what is a double spacing. See, after each word, between each word, there should be 2 spaces. Throughout the paper, you should give 2 spaces, and the margins should be 1.5 inch on all sides of the page. Okay, so all the 4 sides of the paper should be 1.5 inch in length. Then paragraph indentation should be set to 1/2 inch from the left side of the page. That is, when you are writing a new paragraph, that should be 1/2 inch indent from the left side, and above that a special page header consisting of the page number and running head typed in all capital letter. This is all I have already mentioned. Running head will be going on in all the papers. Then title on the title page should also be in capital letter. So, I think I have already made that clear, but I'll just show you something over here. Yeah. See, you can see here. This is the reference portion. Okay. See, you can see here how they have in APA, how they are mentioning the reference portion. Left indent, they have just made it into a left indent. See, for example, this Monder, they have just kept it in a left portion. You can see that how they have mentioned the reference in a very clean and elaborative manner, how they have mentioned. So you need to keep that in mind while writing. They have used, see, I have said like 1/2 indent. See, here you can see they have given a, see, in the new para they are starting. So here they have given a 1/2 left indent. Here in the reference also they have given a 1/2 indent. In the new para also they have given a 1/2 indent. All the 4 sides are 1.5 inches in diameter. You can see all the 4 parts are 1.5 inches. Then you can see that they have used in Times New Roman font. They have used in Times New Roman font with 12 in size. So this is the common way of writing a research article. Okay. So back to the style. Yeah. So you should keep these things while writing a paper. Number 1, personal pronouns should not be used. For example, I, we, you, she, he should not be used. You should always mention it as a researcher or an investigator. You should always say the researcher had seen this or the researcher had done that. Okay, rather than saying he had done, he had used, he had mentioned. So you should say like researcher had mentioned or researcher had done, etc. And I said only the last name of the author should be mentioned or should be cited. If my name is Hind Beegam, I should say Beegam.h. My Hind is not actually relevant over there. My last name is relevant over there. And after that, and one other thing you should keep it in mind is that if there are more than 6 authors, you should cite the name of the first author, and after that you can just put an ital. That is what I said. You can just mention the first name of the author and you can just say ital. And one thing you should keep it in mind is that throughout the study, you should write your entire research in past tense except the conclusion portion. Your complete study should be written in past tense except the conclusion portion, because conclusion will be discussing about the present findings. So obviously it's been allowed to be written in present tense. Okay, and throughout the paper you should avoid any sort of abbreviation. But for example, post-traumatic stress disorder, which is being repeated again and again, then you can just mention as PTSD. But that should be mentioned or that should be clearly stated in your study that PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. Then after, you should always avoid direct quoting of ideas. For example, I'm taking something from an author called Carl Jung. I have taken some of his body, okay? But if my study should be relevant and if my study should be unique, and I should not directly quote the statement of anybody. Often what I should do is I should paraphrase it or I should rephrase it and I should summarize it. Okay, so that it won't show any sort of plagiarism. Plagiarism is something you might have heard. Plagiarism is something like when you do a cut, copy, paste, or when you copy the ideas of some other researcher that had already been published, which is very unethical. That should be showing some sort of plagiarism. So rather than cut, copy and pasting, you should read their idea, you should paraphrase it to your own language, you should summarize it and you should present it. Okay, and see, for giving a distinguishedness, you can even say like the present study. You can even use this term like your present study, this study, current study, and all. You can say in this. In between, you can say the present study intent to or the current study intent to. You can say that. Okay, and one more thing we often make mistake is that, see, when you are mentioning some digits like in between 0 to 9, for example, I'm saying 3 people or 4 people, or in between 0 to 9, you can just mention that in words. For example, if I'm saying 4 people, I should mention is a FOUR, 4 people. But when I am just mentioning more than 10 and larger, for example, I'm saying 12 people, I don't need to spell out this 12. I can just mention that 12 in digit, just 1, 2. Okay. So when it is 0 to 9, you should mention in words, and when it is 10 and larger, you should mention it in what, in digits. Okay, and you are supposed to use a very less intentional and more precise term. Some place you are supposed to measure participant, but in some place you are supposed to measure as the woman, for example, working women, for example, researcher. So always you should intend, you are supposed to give a less intended and more precise term. Okay, and you should always try to avoid plagiarism, because good journals won't be accepting articles that are plagiarized. Okay, the plagiarized in the sense when you have just cut, copy, pasted of somebody else's idea, obviously it is plagiarized. Everybody's input is important, and if you want to create something, you should paraphrase it and you should summarize it. Okay. I have referred A.K. Singh's test measurement and research methods in behavioral sciences as a reference of this current presentation. So if you people are interested to learn more about it, you can refer the A.K. Singh book. Along with that, you can mention, you can go through the APA website also. They have given a clear idea about how to write a research paper. You can just follow their format also. They have given a very clear idea about how to write a research paper. So if you have any questions, you can ask me over here. You can just put it in your live chat. I can just go through it and I can clear your query. Yeah. Somebody has asked about how to do career in research. See, when you, according to me, I was working as an assistant professor I was working as an assistant professor in Holy Cross College, Trichy. But currently, I'm not into teaching. But when you get into teaching is a field which can give you a very wide platform for research. Along with that, not only teaching, but also research is something which is like a sea, where in every field, if you want to update yourself, if you want to personally improve yourself, research is something you should put it in. Like, you should involve yourself in research. Your credibility will be measured by seeing your presentations and your publications. So when you have a lot of publications, obviously your credibility is being measured over there. Yeah, somebody has asked me about to elaborate between validity and research. Sorry, validity and reliability. Differentiate between validity and reliability. So every scale, for example, whatever tools we are using, if a tool is standardized, then it should be valid and reliable. Okay, or I can even say like that. Like, a standardized tool is often reliable and valid. So in order to establish standardized of a tool, you should take a scale which is reliable and valid. Reliability is something that shows the consistency of your scale. For example, I'm measuring the depression of a person. Okay, I'm measuring the depression of a person now. For example, I'm measuring the depression of a person in January, and I got a scale. I got a score of, for example, 43, and it shows moderate depression. And I'm using the same scale for the same person who is in the same state after few weeks. I should get the same score and I should get the same scale if the person is the same condition. Okay, I can even say like reliability is something that should give you any consistency. For example, if you measure something today and you get it as moderate depression, and if you measure it after some time, you should get the same thing. Okay, if there is no change in the state of mind of the person. But validity is something like you are trying to measure, it should measure what it intend to measure. Very simply I can say, like if you are trying to measure depression and your scale should measure depression, then we can say valid your scale is. If you are trying to measure depression and your scale is measuring valid anxiety, I can say like your scale is not valid. When people say that your scale is valid, when your scale is intended to say what it, or when your scale is measuring what it intended to measure. Okay, and reliability is something which shows the consistency of your result. Your result should not be changing every time. Okay, then mm, yeah, somebody was asking what is demographic variable. See, actually I was not going much into this research, because my idea was to bring, I mean, or my responsibility was here to give an idea about how to write a research report. But it's my great pleasure to explain about all these stuffs. Variables are something that varies. Okay, so when you write a research paper, obviously there will be a if it is a descriptive research, obviously there will be an independent variable, a dependent variable, and demographic variable. Demographic variable is something which gives an idea about your age, your sex, your location. Like we know, right? Demographic is something which gives an idea about your demographical detail. For example, like your age, your sex, your marital status, your occupational status, your educational status, your your locational, your institutional affiliation, your socioeconomic status, etc. Independent variable is something your the variable the researcher is measuring, or the variable the researcher is manipulating and seeing its effect on the dependent variable. So here, the independent variable will be changed. The independent variable is a variable that will be manipulated by the researcher, and they will see the effect of the manipulation of that independent variable on the dependent variable. For example, I am taking two groups. If it is an experimental study, and I'm taking two groups. For one group, I'm giving some boost, and for one group, I'm not giving anything. So to the group whom I'm giving boost, that group will be called as the experimental group, who is getting a special treatment called independent treatment, and the group which is not getting anything will be called as a control group. Okay, so this is an experimental study. So here IV will be that giving boost will be called as an IV, independent variable, and I'm seeing the effect of this boost on their academic performance. I'm just giving an example. Okay, effect of this boost on academic performance. So I'm seeing the effect of boost. So this boost is the independent variable over here, which is being manipulated, that which is changing by the researcher, and the effect of this boost on academic achievement. So here academic achievement is the dependent variable, and I'm seeing the effect of this boost on academic achievement. So academic achievement is being the dependent variable over here. I can give you some other idea also. For example, I'm doing a study on I can say like depression and academic achievement among adolescents. So here I'm seeing here the depression will act as an independent variable, and academic achievement will act as a dependent variable, and some demographic variable like their age, sex, then their education, occupation, and all. Or if it is students, there is no occupation, their location, etc., will be coming under demographic variable. Okay, then okay, so I hope if there is any more query, you can just we have some more time. If you have any query, you can just post it in the group, or I mean, you can post it in the chat box so that I can just clear it. So I hope you people are clear about what a research paper and what a research report is. Research paper I have already discussed. See, this is a very brief introduction. This is a very brief introduction, what I said is that like research paper is always something that will give you an idea about how the research was conducted in a very brief manner, or it will give you a very short, brief summary. But a research report will give you a very elaborate detail about your study. Okay, so I guess I'm clear with what topic they have given to me. If you have any more query, you can just ask it in the chat box. I'll just clear it in my knowledge. Yeah, you can reach me at Hind Beegam, or you can reach me at FIKA in Instagram. Yeah, if you have any query, you can ask me, please. So I guess I'm clear with my ideas and what responsibility that had been given to me. So thank you so much for the for this learning experience with you people. I think I've just shared. I'm also a very beginner to this research. Research is a sea, and we always feel like we are on the shore. So thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Good afternoon to all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the word of thanks on this memorable occasion. First and foremost, I thank our special guest, Ms Hind Beegam, consultant psychologist, who despite her busy schedule has found time to grace this occasion. Thank you, madam. Thank you. We are grateful to our secretary, Mr. Sendil Kumar sir, for his words of encouragement. I thank him for his kindness, his interest, and continued support. I thank our well-wisher, Registrar Sir, Dr. Soundarajan Sir, for his support, vision, and commitment. I thank our Dean R and Dean A for their guidance for this function. I thank our principal and vice principal for their support for this function. Thank you, ma'am. I owe special gratitude to the non-teaching staff who have worked hard to ensure that this occasion becomes a memorable success. I thank all the distinguished invitees present here accepting our invitation. I thank all my colleagues, friends, and my dear students. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you, thank you, thank you all.